What's going on, y'all? Big Ten Media Days are today. It's a beautiful day in CA, and Lincoln Riley got done with one of his interviews already with the Cover Three podcast at Big Ten Media Days. I don't know if he's on the podium yet, answering all the reporters' questions, but I checked out this one on CBS Network, and he answered a lot of my questions, and some of them didn't get answered, but we'll get into all that in this video. But he started out by saying some stuff about travel and some of the opponents he's kind of getting used to now in the Big Ten, and that made me question like where Oklahoma was when he was still at Oklahoma. They were just about to transition into the SEC. Lincoln Riley, you can't really question the opponents you have now because you would have had to versus a Florida, Alabama, South Carolina every week when you're in the SEC. But you had the Big 12 schedule with, some of the smaller schools. Like the Big 12 and the ACC are not comparable, or they're the little two conferences compared to the Big 10 and the SEC. But also, he was saying like our roster is in a really good place, saying returning a lot of good players on the offense and the uh, defensive line and the just offense as a whole. I would love to see, where our second him talk about our secondary and our linebackers more. We'll get into that, but yeah, what I was questioning about this offseason is, a lot of people were talking about our number one recruiting class and where we are with that. And he's saying we won't have to depend on them this year. He's saying, a lot of them won't have to start this year. We'll see them later on in their career. That was a shocker to me because he's talking like he'll keep his job. Like he'll see these players like in year 3, year 4 of their career, like he'll be there. So we'll see how he does this year with the schedule he has. And he also did talk about how it's a perfect schedule. So he's going on with that narrative. A lot of USC fans like to put out there. I don't love it at all because Notre Dame is not on our schedule. Like that's just a history of college football. If I want to watch college football, like keep the history, keep the tradition. Like don't just try to like change with the times. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just hop on a new wave. Like, I'm not doing that. No, like, I want Notre Dame on our schedule. So I'm going to keep riding that, So it's just history. But you can go with the 2026 wave of college football if you want to. I'm not doing that. But yeah, you talked about how Oregon, Indiana, like some of those teams we have to verse and how we have to travel to, like to Wisconsin, Penn State. Those are some big games that, like, he said are going to be, the road games are going to be key for us to. You can win any game after you win those road games. He's like, this is kind of like a given. I don't know why he said it, but he did. He said, the conference games are easier than road games. Like everybody knows this in college football. I think like if you like if you head into Jerry's world for the Big 12, title game or whatever, like that's easier than heading to Alabama or Florida or Michigan. You know what I'm saying? Like so that was kind of some things. And he said, he it took him year 5 to feel like we're actually here, like he settled in. And a lot of other places, I don't want to, you kind of got to compare them, but a lot of other places like Indiana, I think their AD hasn't been there even like 5 years yet, maybe, but she came over from Georgia and changed the whole culture around. They win the national championship. She hires Kirk Cincinnati, and you see where Indiana is right now. But that's Indiana. Like it's putting pressure, a lot of pressure on Lincoln Riley. So I don't want to, do that because they're not the same people. I guess Cignetti cares more about his defense than this guy does, and the way he talked in his interviews, like I saw that because he was saying like, hey, our offense this year with what I've been doing for the past few years and what we've got now with Gary Patterson in the defense. Like he said, hey, what Gary Patterson's bringing, like I need you to care a little bit about the defense, Lingham, right? Like say something, like don't just say, hey, Gary Patterson's got it and I just got the offense. I get like I don't Kirby, even Sark is the offensive minded coach, but I guarantee you Sark definitely has his hand in the defense somewhere. It's not, the top of the line, like he doesn't have full control over it, but I definitely, he's saying some things. So I definitely want to see like Lincoln Riley talk about more about the defense and the secondary this year. Like you see a lot of other places. This is just like a side note. You see a lot of other places like LSU, Florida, Alabama. Some of those places recruit 6'3", six. I think LSU has like a 6'5" cornerback. I want to see Lincoln Riley get to that. Right now we have a lot of 6'1", 6 foot, 5'11" corners. Maybe they might get taller. I don't know, but we did recruit one guy from Oklahoma State. I knew, looking at where he was from, I think he's from the IE, and I was like, okay, he was gonna come back home if he could. So that was cool for him to do. But he's about 6'3", a corner coming back. But definitely want to see him recruit taller cornerbacks. But that's just my pet peeve about the secondary and whatnot. But he did talk about, says, what it takes historically to have a great team. And he said, we have a really good quarterback, we have a really good offensive line, and a really good D line. And he didn't talk about that one thing USC is very historically known at being good at, the linebacker position. So he didn't really talk about that. He said what the hires we did make for the linebacker position. Mike Eckler at coach from Nebraska, his special teams, because our special teams hurt us in a lot of games last year. If you're a USC fan, oh my goodness, that Oregon game, good lord. But yeah, definitely I definitely want to see one of our what is it? Our transfer portal guys coming in, Devin Bryant from Washington, seeing what he can do. Desmond Stevens, if he can make a jump from last year to this year, and then Jaden Walker as well. But also he was questioned about Jaden Mayava's leadership, and I don't hear a lot of people, talking about Julian Sayan's leadership, because that's like he said. I get it, because Jaden Mayava, he doesn't want to go on social media, and some of the losses last year, like when we're losing to Illinois, like he's there with Jacoby Lane on the sideline sitting down. He's not really talking to the like Holton. That's kind of the thing I get with what they were kind of talking about with leadership. Like, hey, you have to kind of coach your guys up, like be around your guys more, not just with Jacoby kind of like going through the motions when you throw an interception or when your defense just doesn't come up and things like that. So you have to coach your guys more, just being your guys' ear, like, hey, we have to do this, we have to do that. So definitely could see that this year. But I thought they were kind of targeting Jaden a little bit, because he doesn't talk a lot, and he's a humble guy, which I love. And Lincoln also said, being the quarterback at USC, there's more that has to come out of you. And I thought that he was asking, like, be more outspoken as a USC quarterback, because we're in LA. That's how I took it. But maybe just being around his players. And he said, just behind the scenes, that's what Jaden Mayava has been doing in the offseason, just being around his guys, coaching them up. And he's more vocal with them too. So that's very good to see. Uh, yeah, and also, like, he also talked about our 7-0 at the Coliseum, which I thought is pretty cool. All the coaches are gonna like make their pitches onto why they were really good last season. I don't pay no mind to it because of what the teams we versed. Like, okay, the Iowa win, I view that as a bigger win than the Michigan game, because the Michigan game with the freshman quarterback, and they weren't really the Michigan of old, or a national championship contending team. So that Michigan win, it was really big for us. But yeah, like I didn't view it as a big win, because I just viewed it as we should get that win. So yeah, we talked about that. And then yeah, more of like the narratives of like kind of where USC is, and